Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. Try and just have that Google Doc open. We're going to do our first through the eyes assignment. This is something you probably did last year, just depending on the topic. So we'll wait for some people to get in here, and then I'll tell you what's going on. Give everyone 30 more seconds. We'll get started. Just open up the Google Doc that you see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, before we get into the assignment, let me try and give you a little bit of an election update as best I can. So as of right now, 12 p.m. on Wednesday, we still do not know who the president of the United States will be starting in 2021. The election is shaping up to be maybe one of the closest elections in American history. So right now we're kind of sorting through that. If I had to guess, I would literally say that Biden is probably 55 to 60% of a chance to win. Biden is in the lead for the electoral vote right now and the popular vote, but that could change. I'm learning some things now that there's some states such as Arizona that may be in play, meaning that they have a chance to come back possibly and go for Trump. So it's still very up in the air. We probably honestly won't know anything for the next couple of days. I think maybe we'll have a better idea by the next couple of hours, but we will probably not know anything official for the next couple of days. So this has happened before. This happened in 2000. It took 37 days, actually. A very controversial election 20 years ago. 1876 this happened. This happened in 1912. I mean, this sometimes takes time. 2004 this also happened, where you have to wait. You don't find out on election night or early in the morning. So we are just living through that right now. Very typical. Shanika, Joe actually doesn't need to win Pennsylvania. He could just win. If he loses Pennsylvania, he needs to win pretty much everything else. So he'll need to win Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Michigan. But that would mean he wins 270 to 268. So that would be really, really close. Right, but it is easier. No, Casanova, Biden lost Texas. Trump needs Pennsylvania. It will definitely help him. If he loses Pennsylvania, it's pretty much all but over.
No!
What?
I want to see Biden win.
Well, he's he's up right now, but I don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of hours and days. So I'll try and keep you as updated as possible as I go through this. If something comes up while I'm teaching, I'll obviously let you guys know. But right now, that's where we are. Yeah, Shanika, Texas has pretty much always been a red state. I will say, though, Texas did not vote as much Trump as many people thought. So that could be a sign that maybe that's changing. But yeah, it's going to be a couple of days at least, I think, until we officially know. But I will try and keep you guys posted. I'll try and let you guys know what's going on. But right now, we're still very up in the air. And yeah, Shanika, I can tell you're paying attention to the election, which is great. But essentially, we don't know who the president is. Well, we know Donald Trump's still the president to January 2021 anyway, but we don't know who's taking over after that, if Trump's staying or Biden's going. So that's where we are at this point. And hopefully you guys are at least as understanding as possible that sometimes this takes time, and that is one of those particular times. All right. So if there's nothing else, we're going to go on to today's lesson. This is going to be a 2-day assignment, though I don't actually see you guys tomorrow because of parent-teacher conferences, so this is going to go into Friday. Your goal today is at least to get set up so you can write at least do the graphic organizer, which I'll show you how to do. And let's kind of talk about what the Through the Eyes assignment is. So just in the chat really quick, can you guys just pop in if you guys remember doing a Through the Eyes journal last year? If you don't remember, if you do remember, it'll just help me on how I go about teaching this. Remember? Okay, great. So seems like a couple people remember. Okay, I'm going to teach it like you've never learned it before, so you kind of remember some of the things. But this should start to make sense a little bit. So we are practicing our narrative writing skills in social studies, where we are basically taking a perspective of a particular person in American history and then trying to, through their eyes, write a journal entry of what's going on. All right, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to pretend you are living through the Reconstruction era. Now, it says in a well-organized paragraph. We're not going to start with that. We're going to start with the graphic organizer and some questions to kind of get your mind thinking, because I don't want to just say, okay, here you go, good luck. I want to try and give ourselves an opportunity to do a little bit better and make sure we have an opportunity to succeed. Okay, so how would you describe what's going on in the country at the time? How do you think the African Americans should be treated in this country? Start to think about what are some of the big topics through Reconstruction and how might you affect that. All right, so don't worry about this part here. I want you to focus in on the top here. All right, specifically, I want you to work on two things. So I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes to think about it. If you have questions, please let me know. You need to, I don't even care about the date, to be honest. Whatever date you pick is fine. It's up to you. I want you to think about number 2. What role are you going to be during this journal? Who are you going to try and pretend to be? You, of course, could use your name, but, you know, if you are living through Reconstruction era, what role are you choosing? Do you want to be a newly freed slave? Okay. Do you want to be a former Confederate soldier? Understand that your viewpoint of Reconstruction and your viewpoint of, let's say, the Jim Crow laws and the KKK and the 13th Amendment will be different depending on if you're a newly freed slave or if you're a former Confederate soldier. All right? Maybe those are too broad for you. Maybe they're too boring for you. Maybe you'd like to be one of the presidents, Ulysses S. Grant. Okay? What is a point that you would want? Maybe you want to take the tougher route of a plantation owner, someone that has to maybe lead with sharecropping. What if you were John Wilkes Booth's friend? Or what if you were Abraham Lincoln's friend? What will your perspectives be as you're answering these questions? Or what if you were a KKK member? All right. So what you're going to do right now is I want you to take 2 minutes and just write down what role you'll be choosing. All right. So if I was doing this, you know what? I may want to try something a little bit different. I maybe want to choose, you know what? I'm going to be a KKK member. Or you know what? Maybe I'll be a former Confederate soldier. So what I'll do is I'll copy that. and I'll paste it here. And what I'll do is to make it known so I know, I'm going to highlight it. So everyone now, you choose the one you want. Maybe it's not a former Confederate soldier. Choose one of these roles that you want to do. And then when you're done, post it in the chat so I know which role you're doing. Okay.
Well, I gotta be Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. Sebastian going to be Abraham Lincoln. Got it. Shanika, Friedman or Radical Republican. Excellent. That's fine. When you figure out which one you want to do, post them in the chat. We're not moving on until I hear from everyone, or at least like 80% of you. Emma, that was a person that was wanting to help out African Americans and the people in government who are trying to help out African Americans, and then obviously punish the South for what they did. Okay, Jason, former Confederate soldier, excellent. Mia Gomez, Radical Republican, okay. Brandon, Ashley, Akira, Shamir, let me know what you guys are doing. Okay, Emma, got it. Brandon, okay. Oh, you guys are taking the Radical Republican perspective. Okay, Lewis, got it.
Wait, what's a radical Republican again?
Again, those are the people in government who are trying to help get African American rights and freedom, along with putting the soldiers in the South to make sure that the South was behaving properly. They were the good guys, even though they have the radical extreme name. Okay, Ashley, freed slave. Okay, so if you have it by now, please post in the chat which one you would like to do. Okay. We are right now going to mention this, okay? It is 9 days away, but if you're looking at my screen, you have a test on your Unit 1 Civil War and Reconstruction test. I like giving everyone at least a week heads up to understand that you have a test coming up. This assignment is going to help you with that. So my suggestion is while you start this assignment, you should have your notebook open, you should have your notes, you should be going back to some of the particular groups that you're working with. Okay, so here's how we do it. You are going to answer these questions. The more you write in these boxes, the easier the short answer, quote unquote, through the eyes essay will be. Okay, it's gonna be about 8 to 10, 8 to 12 sentences. All right? So after you picked your particular person, you're going to try and answer them from their perspective. Not from your perspective, but from their perspective. So if you chose a newly freed slave, how do you feel about former Confederate soldiers being allowed to rejoin the country without much of a penalty? What would be their perspective? The newly freed slave perspective would be a lot different than the plantation owner or the KKK member. So you have to think about your perspective and answer these questions. Your goal is, by the end of this period, to try and have all of these questions answered from your particular person's perspective. All right? If you finish early, let me know. Akira, that's fine. Perfect. Let me know if you finish early. I could tell you what to do next so you have less work to do on Friday. All right. But are there any questions right now on what you have to do? Okay. I am going to mute myself. All right. If you have questions, please let me know. I will also be keeping an eye on any election updates. So if there's anything new, I will let you know. But you guys probably have the same sources I'm looking at. So shouldn't be anything too crazy. All right. I'll mute myself. Let me know if you have questions.